Welcome to episode 2 of the new season of the official Arbroath podcast. We are delighted to say that not only have I got my usual suspect, Fermer, with us. How are you doing, Fermer?
Fermer's doing good, all set for a busy day.
But we have got Hammy with us for the whole show, unlike Mikey that didn't turn up till halfway through it the last time. How are you doing, Hammy? You okay?
Good, thank you. Thank you
great
for
to have you
inviting me
here.
on.
You're looking pretty nervous, Hammy, just relax.
No, I'm fine.
I guarantee you'll not be the biggest idiot in the show.
You look a wee bit red, actually. You've been out in the golf course.
We were at Ricky's Testimonial yesterday, so no, it was good, a good day.
Yes, well, we'll probably touch on some of that actually later on. Usual script that we do, we review the last few games since the last pod, maybe a bit of a preview of today's game and things like that. Fans obviously want to get to know you a little bit better. One or two talking points that we've probably got in there. Farmer's Facts, or This Day in History, whatever we're calling it. Farmer's little quiz. And anything else that happens in between is
definitely. I bring it on.
Right, let's review the game. The last time we were here, it was Mikey saying that they were going to get. It was the second Queen's Park game, the game at home, and not a change of tactics as such, but it was more going to be a slightly more aggressive sort of formation that they were going to be going and try to get stuck in. I think they did that, but
certainly did. I think that game 1-0. I think if we'd come away for that game at 0-0, we'd have been really, really happy. We lost that late goal for the boy Peyton, but I thought that we played really well, especially in the second half. Gaffer seemed to hate it changed, in my opinion. We were right in their faces, crowding them out. As far as I can see, that was what's been a big difference for most of our games.
I would agree. I think, take the goal aside, it was actually a fairly even game. I think we had something like 12 shots on target or something like that, which probably more than Queen's Park, I don't know, but I think we both said the United game and the Queen's Park game were not really the games to judge us on.
That's right.
The games after it probably were, and delighted to say, when we look at them, it's a much, much different result.
Morton 3-0, I believe, was a good game. I couldn't make it due to work commitments.
Farmer, you're letting the side down.
Morton's near gonna get into a lot anyway, like, you get what I mean.
Banned?
No banned, like, there's usually something stops me getting in. Too much grey goose. But I heard for the guys that was doing there, I heard that it was perhaps our best performance our season. Some great performances, individual performances, a bit more and all, good team performance. Mikey McKenna scoring and Joe Baldy, and I think the other one was attributed to an own goal.
I think so,
and I think that's it. But negative, but you've got to mind that Morton weren't a good. I did watch some of the highlights. Morton weren't a good, but you can only play what's in front of you.
Absolutely.
And improvement every week. I've seen Queen's Park, well, for the very first game of the season, United, and then Queen's Park, and Queen's Park again, and then Morton, really, really good. And then on to last week against Ayr United, and I just thought...
Did you make that one?
Yeah, I made that. It's a home game and it's not far. Just thought we were phenomenal last week. I really did. I thought the big difference for me in the middle of the pitch, we did it, so we took pressure. Colin will be able to tell us later on, but we took pressure off the left back and the right back because the midfield was working. I thought Goldie and Craig Slater were just phenomenal. I gave Goldie my man of the match award. There was a lot of guys shouting between him and Craig Slater.
I had McKenna as my man of the match last week. I thought it was one of his best games.
You're just saying that because you upset him with his haircut last week, so you're just trying to make amends like I'm no. But no, I thought we were really, really good, and again, Ayr, a team that, again, they're a big name team for this league, but we coped with them, and I think if we play like that all year, I didn't see a problem for us.
One of the best bits, and he was raging coming down the tunnel, but so I don't know if you noticed, just because where I sit you see it, but Baldy in the last, I think about the 89th, 90th minute, he'd made this run and it was a way to be a tap in for him. I think that's when the referee blew the whistle or something like that. He was fizzing coming down because he wasn't getting his wee tap in. But that level of desire for me is brilliant.
And Turan had a wee bit, we were standing just below the TV cameras. Turan and Scotty Stewart had a wee one, and Turan had I didn't care how you pronounce it, but he had a great touch for it. He flicked the ball. It was just superb. Like,
no, we're looking good. I think especially the last 2 weeks. Before that, the Queen's Park game, we kind of found roughly where we were looking to go, but last couple of weeks it's kind of the old Arbroath's back here, that Arbroath that gets in people's faces, makes it difficult and wins individual battles. You win your individual battles 9 times out of 10, you'll win the game. So
what would you attribute that to, Colin? Is that just the players gelling a wee bit, or is it you've actually
definitely
changed
I
tactics?
think even with that, I don't think we've started the season as confidently and as fluently as we probably would have liked. We've had a great kind of run against Morton over the last few years, so we kind of went down there with a bit of confidence, realising that we could cause an upset, and we started the game on the front foot, and we'd never taken our foot off the gas, and it was just kept on going, got to half time. Manager gets everybody in and says, can we just need to stay relaxed and just keep believing and doing what we're doing, and I think we went and done that again. I seen the game out, got another goal, probably could have had another one or two on our day, but 3-0, I suppose if you would have said that before the game, if you would have been happy with it, would you have taken that? Definitely.
What's your role? Obviously, everybody will know that you're not able to play just now, just coming back from the injury. What's your role at the moment then? Because you're good enough to come to the games and all the rest of it. What's your input and role in what's happening?
I wouldn't say I've not got an input in teams or selection or anything like that. Really, with that, I'm just here. Obviously, I come up on the Saturdays to try and kind of bring my fitness up a wee bit and do work with kind of Craig, the physio, and that. And I'm just here. Ken, if the boys want to speak, obviously I'll be seeing it from, and I know, well, Scott Stewart's position inside out, so really Ken, Scotty can maybe ask me here, or you're watching it and maybe that more relaxed when it comes to the trying, obviously the dugout, it can be quite a high tempo in there where you've got Rab shouting and everybody's kind of agitated, where I try and sit back that wee bit and take myself out it, so you can see it from maybe a different way that the rest of them are seeing it. Sometimes it would work, sometimes it wouldn't, but I just try and be that kind of calming influence to say, well, there's 90 minutes to play and we're 5 minutes in and it's 100 miles an hour. I think that's, we try and play at 100 mile an hour all the time, where I think to physically do that's really difficult, and it can get scrappy. We try and get the ball forward very quickly, so it can be a wee bit frantic at times, but sometimes I think we need to kind of slow it down a wee bit. And
It's funny he said that his role isn't really a role. I'm going to jump a wee bit here. I spoke to Bobby, as you can, I do frequently.
Yes.
And I asked him if he had anything on you. And to be fair, I hope he said no. Well, he did say to me that you're one of the guys, you're like Boise off Only Fools and Horses, you'll no buy a car back that you've sold. No, but what Bobby said was, he reckoned you were actually part of the heart of the club, because you're saying you're a quiet sit back. He said that he's never had anyone in the club with a connection like you, even Ricky. He thought that your attitude and the way you had affected people round about on the club, it was a pleasure to play in front of you. You're a pal and a teammate, but he's not played with anyone who's had an effect on anyone on a team as much as you. He says you're scary, the hardest guy he's ever played with, and he's very quick to take he didn't actually say physical, but he meant he's gripped me by the ear and took me to the side and told me to behave. He says you're a true leader, you're quiet off the field, and it can't give you enough credit for what you've done for our bros. So that's probably...
So that's £100 I'm due Lenny now.
And £100 for me for reading it.
I want to find out how you gripped him by the ear. What was that?
I think Bobby would be
a full hand day. So, but no, Lenny, I've got massive respect for Lenny, and just like he's going on there, a friend, and Lenny's somebody that he was the one that would win you games. Really, I was the one at the other end to try and keep us in games. So I was more than happy just to sit back. My first pass every time the ball came to me was to Bobby Lynn. Nobody else was to Bobby Lynn, and if it wasn't on to Bobby Lynn, then it was in the channel. So really with that, I like to kind of keep myself to myself. I'll work about, I try and use my head a lot more than my voice at times, but I don't know, like to think the game and try and be that one step ahead of where my next pass is going before it's even there. So with Lenny, we've had many a raised word really with that. It's normally just you look at him a certain way and he realises Alright, okay, aye, that's fine. I know we've had a few in the kind of changing room at half time at the end of the game, but normally 10 minutes later it's a cuddle. And
I think that's what the club's been needing. It needs more of that kind of, like yourself and Bobby, Ricky, Goldie. It needs some of these older school, Michael, Damari's boys getting in and getting the new boys into it. And I think that's what I see happening now.
Dave, that's 100% what's happening. And with that, we've had the nucleus of the team. We even Derek been here for what, 4 seasons, 5 seasons now. So the spine of the team, and that's obviously as time goes on, it's kind of going to dwindle away. But we need to, we know. I think that was a big reason we stayed up last year, was the steeliness we had and the experience and the belief we all had in each other. And that's kind of, I look to my right hand shoulder, I've got Tam O'Brien there, and I look up to my left hand side, I had Bobby Lynn. Tam looks to either side and he's got players that he trusts, and that's a big part of a winning team, a team that we're a part-time team in a full-time league, but I feel that's what kept us in that, because we believe in each other. We're no scared to get dug in, we're no to take one for the team technically. We've got so good in there, and we all know each other's strengths, we know each other's weaknesses. So Bobby Lynn's strength was going forward, his weakness was coming back the park, so we complemented each other so well. He done his thing, I done my thing, and we were happy with it, we accepted that. That's I was there to tackle, header it and kick people, and whenever Lenny got kicked, it was always me the one that was he was always looking to see how far away I was before he would be able to react, So but we've got a great group of boys in there, and coming for the management as well, they know us inside out, and that's the thing. Obviously there's new boys, there's new people that come in. The man, they've got time, they need time to kind of figure out these boys, who's as tough as the ones he's got. He'll talk to me, he could nail me at half time, nail Tam and nail Ricky, and we'll still go out and give us our all, where nowadays you've got to be careful in who you're saying stuff to and the way you're speaking to people, because everybody reacts differently. But we've got our nucleus with Goldie, Scotty, Stewart, everybody that's been in that team 3 and 4 years. We all know how to take the gaffer, we all know how he takes us, and I think it's a great way to build a team. And we've certainly got that, and let's say if we can keep the performances up the way we have been the last 2-3 weeks, then I feel kind of the plan will be achieved next season as well.
Brings us to today's game then. Cup game obviously, but it's Inverness, it's a team we know well. What's the sort of thoughts on today? I don't know, do you get involved at this stage to know what the game plan is or that?
I think our game plan doesn't change. We need to go out and match teams physically. If you match teams there's nothing between us. Obviously Dundee United, you would say, probably going to be the team that potentially goes on and wins the league, but on our day we could beat Dundee United. On Airdrie's day, Airdrie could beat Dundee United. The league is that tight that anybody could beat anybody. Teams turn up, what I say, even Queen's Park here, a great side, but on our day we're looking and going, we can beat that team. I think we've just got to have that confidence and that belief to go and challenge teams, to go, well, we're as good as yous, why should we not be?
I can't agree more. I mean, I think games against Inverness, historically there's no much in it in recent times. One or two goals, but I think, as you said, if we get in amongst them, it would be. I think for me it'd be interesting to see the game will be played before this is released, so it'll be interesting to see how everybody's got their own opinions on how the gaffer should set it up. Me personally, I'm a wee bit selfish. I'm not needing it to change too much, because I think that we're building in with the team now, and I want to see these new guys get as much time as they can with the guys that's on the pitch, so that I'll become stronger. But in the same respect, if he changed it, I would understand why.
I think he's got to look at people, because if there's an injury today, then somebody's going to have to step in. So really with that, he's got, obviously it's the gaffer's decision, and he'll know better than everybody else. He's had a million games in the dugout, so with that he knows his boys inside out. I would say in our bench, you could swap them, and no have to worry about it. So he's got decisions to make, and I think with the results of the last few weeks, we've made his job hard. But I'm sure he would rather have a job where he's scratching his head all the way up to find out who's going to play than saying, well, he's a certainty, and then worrying about potentially putting people on if things aren't going great. Because things go wrong, teams play above where we think they're going to play, and Inverness haven't had a good start, but it's like us, it's one result away from potentially going in a run in 3 or 4 games, So
Billy Dodds will not look forward to coming down here.
Absolutely no way will he look forward to it. As I said to you before, I think Billy Dodds is still in a shoogly peg as far as I'm concerned. Near that I'm wanting that for him, but I think that Inverness is one of these clubs that they're too. They're probably too big. They think they're too big to be in this league, and they'll be needing out of it, and they're focusing the whole time to get out of this league. And if they have to bide in it, they're too long. The longer you're in it, the longer it takes to get out of it. Tangerine lads be in the road.
We'll come to them. Before we go there, couple of things. One of the things we were hoping to do this season that we didn't do last season is at the beginning of every month is it's not an award as such, but just pick our player of the month. And now you might get the cast and vote on this because I've got a different player in my head than Fermer does. But you going first, or?
No, you go first.
I've gone for Aaron Steele. I think for a young lad, he's fitted in brilliantly. I think he's covering everything. He's a boy for me that the club will build around in the future because I think he's been great. He's a no nonsense defender for me. It's he can make a pass, but he batters it out there as well. He can do the rosette stuff for me. So, and I think he's had 3 or 4 really decent games. So I'm going for Aaron Steele.
It's a good choice. I think he's been a great player, fitted in well, and he's got huge potential. I think he's a great player. I'm actually going to go, I tell you the 2 earlier on I'm going to go for Goldie, purely because I just think that it's that wee bit of experience that he's brought in and done it, and help it, the players round about him, I think, take a wee bit of pressure off of guys like Scotty Stewart and Aaron Steele, and he's moulded it in. So, and I think he's forward, he's right in their faces, and he's got that wee bit of goal. So I'm going for Goldie.
Hammy?
I think it's a tough one. I think there could be 3 or 4, and I'll potentially go differently, and I would say Scott Stewart, because I think for somebody that's been playing out of position, you get him, can ask him if he's done his job every week. I would say he's done his job really well, especially kind of the players he's playing against. I've got the boy at Queen's Park, never really done much, to be fair, but he's in loan for Bayern Munich, so to stick Scott Stewart up against somebody like that, the last 2 games as well against Morton, I don't know if we're going for before that but I think it could be any one of them. Obviously Steely, definitely think he's going to be a great servant for the club, and I think when we're hoping he'll be similar to like Marcel, he'll be here 4, 5, 6 and beyond, and I definitely somebody that the club's going to have to build around in the future. Craig Slater again, Goldie, last few weeks different class. But I say the Craig Slater that we're now starting to see the best of Craig Slater, but he came in pre-season with a wee niggling injury, so people starting to get up to fitness now as well, but when it comes to it, it could be really anyone. I don't know, do you want me to choose it, the 2 of them?
No. I mean, it's for everybody, and it's just a little wee thing we're going to do, because I think the main thing about having somebody like yourself on, and it shows us, we're looking at players out in that pitch. We just see them for that 90 minutes. We get a wee inkling, some of us. But we're not aware that they've got little wee injuries at Nigla, but there's other rumours going about.
That's what's great about having the insight.
Exactly. And Craig Slater comes highly. I mean, Abdi I speak to for Forfar is gutted. And when we've got him, so that's fine. Good to care. No need to choose, but the guys out there, it's you listeners can choose
tweet in and let us know who your player of the month was.
I don't care how you're going to get in touch with us, because I'm not in social media, as you all know, because I've had to take a wee break.
The Smokies and Wine tweet will be open, so we're alright. Other thing I want to ask you about, and here you run the task side of things in the supporters club and things like that, there was something came out, and I know it's only they're looking for permission, but this ridiculous stuff about away fans, the bus not being able to be 10 miles within a ground without police permission, and not being able to go to a pub unless they're serving food and all the rest of it. If people haven't seen it, I'll probably retweet it later on, just so you can see it. But what's your take on this? Do you actually know about this, Hammy?
I've not got a clue.
Right, okay, fair.
I think with what I've seen, I think they're putting all these restrictions on it. So now that you've got to have an officer that's in charge of it, I believe. Now, as far as I can make out, it's a club. Not the.
It says the bus company must have a dedicated football officer.
Well, so we use fishers, okay, for our task buses. Now, obviously, I've got to arrange it every week. I've got to tell them where we're going. That's quite important. And sometimes I've made a mistake with that, let me tell you. But we tell them where we're going, how much folk or how big a bus we need, how much folk's going to be on that bus, where our pickups are, timings, etc., and where we stop for lunch, inverted commas. And then they're wanting to do this very professionally now. I need to look at the whole thing, but you can't stop within 10 miles.
Right. Without police permission. As long as you've got the permission.
So now I'm going to have to
do that.
I'm now going to speak to the police to get permission to stop at I think some of the pubs that we're getting to. So for example, going to Queen's Park, for example, we're going to stop and get permission to go into the bloody snooker club.
They can't serve beer unless you're having it with a substantial meal, is another one of the rules.
I mean, that can't work. I mean, that's a group thing. I can surely go into a pub and have a drink, supposing that.
I think that will turn into COVID rules when pubs are just dishing out bowls of soup and then 10 pints.
Some pubs you can't get in if you're in colours, okay. It's a load of rubbish for a Saturday, but and what was the other one? You can't stop and pick somebody up.
Drop off or pickups are not allowed at unauthorised locations without prior permission from the police. So if some young laddie gets lost, they're saying that you can't go and pick them up at the corner. Ridiculous.
It's a farce. But I think that what people forget is how much clubs do. I ken a lot of guys through supporters clubs. I think we're pretty responsible. We've got documents signed by parents if they're under 16. We've got emergency contact details for updates on that bus in case anything happens. We sign paperwork to say that we're kind of abiding by the bus company's rules. And I just think it's farcical. And they're trying to make it, I'm not saying a police state, but they're just trying to stop us from having a good day on a Saturday. This harkens back to the old firm, because their fans can't cope with their drinking. They're new in wreck places and pitch invasions. What harm are we doing going to walk by the road and a few drinks? No, rubbish.
I don't think that will last you.
No, I don't think
it can't. It's not sensible. I don't think it'll come into force, but if it does, it's something we'll just have to work around.
Aye.
Only on bus loads. You just have to have dedicated drivers.
They'll no need a bus load on a Friday night anyway. Or next.
Well, on that, Dundee United, there's been a game change. It was the Saturday, it's now the Friday. We'll come to you because we're really keen to know the difference in preparation on a Friday for a part-time club compared to a full-time club, because it really does make a massive difference. But Fermer, I think you've got the odd thing to say on this.
I do. I think it's terrible. I think United think they're a bigger club than they are. They're changing the game because they changed their name 100 years ago. Wow. It's not even their centenary year. The reason they're changing is they're fear we beat them. A part-time club is going to give them a wee run. It's just I can't. What I cannot understand, the Astor club today, I've got a wee bit of knowledge in this. It's not just my usual sprouting, but they've got the Astor club. The club declined because it's unfair. Yeah, because it's unfair on our players. Friday commitments, which Hammy will go through in a wee bit. And fans as well, and then they weren't happy with that, so then they go to the SPFL. Now I don't care. The SPFL must think United's the Rangers or Celtic of this league and a big club, and we'll do what we like for United. So they've agreed to it. Again, just because some club has changed their name. I did a wee bit of research. Yeah, it's a centenary year for them to change their name from Dundee Hibernian to Dundee United. They're having a...
That's how they wore the green strips when they were here, isn't it?
They're having a dinner, a centenary dinner, which is almost sold out, by the way.
Are they having it on the Saturday?
No, it's not been until, I think it's the 13th, I think it is. 13th of October, the week before.
Okay.
It's not even to allow that. I could even hear a wee bit of sympathy. Okay, the players has got to get back for their centenary, but it's not even for that. And it's not even sold out, it's almost sold out. Jeez, well, the Bobby Lynn testimonial was sold out before it was advertised. That's a bigger name in Dundee now. I'm just raging at it, like.
You're hiding it well.
Well, I mean, why? And then I did another bit, and this is my parting word in it. Dundee United were formed by a boy called Pat Riley. He had a bike shop. Well, United, back on your bike because it's a load of rubbish. And I've managed that without swearing.
Well done.
I'm still seeing this. My face is the same colour as Hammy after the goal yesterday.
I'm worried about your blood pressure.
Oh, my blood pressure. I mean, Mark Ogren, is he organising this?
I have no idea.
He's mere need to get back to America for his fee and change the name of the clubs he used to own there. The Manitou Moondogs, the Sioux Fall Canaries. I mean, jeez. Anyway, Hammy, over to you.
Just the difference from a player's perspective. Obviously, you know, United. It's probably the same for them, whether it's a Saturday or a Friday. But for us, it's a huge difference.
For us, there is a big difference. It doesn't affect your football, but it also affects you needing to take a day off work. So with that, you're then taking a day off your work. You get 28 days holiday a year where you're paid. So you're then cutting that to do what? Sit in the house and do nothing. You're technically wasting a day's holiday to go and play at night. That's what you sign up for. You play part-time football. We get that. Saturday's a football day. Really, that's yous would rather probably a Saturday than a Friday.
Yeah, I think on that, just to interrupt you there a wee bit, I think what we need to remember, Arbroath Football Club and their players, they understand you're going to have to play the Friday night for the television games and the cup games.
We've admitted in the past we like a game under the lights.
Yes,
it's not about that.
Yeah, but so
do we. We enjoy a Friday night game, and yes, to go to Tannadice on a Friday night would be great. Definitely. But I'll play anytime, anywhere, anything, and we all will. But we just think you're at work all day. You're then rushing home, getting a quick bite to eat, rushing up here. You're leaving earlier because the traffic's busy as well, because you're getting up through rush hour. So it mucks your day up a wee bit. You've got plenty of notice to deal with that. But Saturdays, I feel Saturday's a football day. And with that, if two clubs agree Friday night, fair enough, definitely. Yeah. But when it comes to one agreeing and one disagreeing, then technically if this was agreed as the fixtures came out straight away before the season kicked off, then
absolutely
different story.
But when it comes to a month before it, and
I think it's shown contempt for other championship clubs. Again, Hammy's not going to say nothing like that because he's a player and that. I just think United's shown absolute contempt for everybody else in that league. And their fans they'll hear go at me for saying it. I'm not caring. I'm really past caring because there is a wee sideline. I'm struggling to mark it as well because I'm in Holland that week. But that's not the point. But a serious point. I've made plans for that game. You can away plan. I've made plans for the Friday night games and I've changed schedules. There's Hammy and other boys there that's going to hate a day. Sorry.
I don't. An issue will still go out there. You'll still affect our performance. Who knows? And that's really one of the ones. The legs might be a tiny wee bit heavier, but on the flip side, you're then got the weekend to spend with the family. So, but you've got either side. It doesn't really, as a player's point of view, we can't dwell on it. We just need to go, okay, that's it. But I think for two clubs' point of views, if one agrees, one disagrees, then I think it's staged.
SPFL, and I have this in good knowledge, they refused Arbroath to change their game away against Annan. I think if you mind this, away back in Annan, the SPFL refused our Arbroath to play, change a venue, the date, because we had an event on the pitch and they refused to do it. I'm minding up. And that's the last word I'm saying on it.
We just need to turn them over on the night.
Well, Rangers spoiled their party, their last centenary, so we'll spoil it this time. There we go. That's my last word on the subject, JB.
Well, as they're trying to put some kind of celebration together, we had one yesterday for Ricky Little, Testimonial Golf Day, in his testimonial season. I'm not a golfer, so I wasn't at it. You but lads were both at it. What kind of day was it?
Hot. As you can see. Very hot.
I've never seen two beetroot coupons like this for a long time, I'll tell you. You've got the berry tan, Fermer.
No, it was a good day. I fair enjoyed it. It was good to see Hammy and some of the players not there, some of the old players. There was a wee sadness to the day, to be fair. Right. Just getting it there right now. Liddy Montrose won it. Stuart Petrie and his team won it.
Must have been a bit of cheating going on, but because we thought my team were in for a show, and I don't know where. I think we finished second, but
to be fair, I lost interest. I didn't even win a raffle.
No, I don't know. We had to leave a wee bit early.
But it was a nice day and it was well supported. It was good.
It was good, aye.
And you enjoyed it?
Great day, great day. Let's say make me dust down the golf club, so next year maybe we'll wait and see.
Well, just on Ricky, because we've probably not said enough about his testimonial season. It would be good to get him on and get a blether with him about it, but I don't, because I don't know what the dates of it are yet, but presumably there'll still be a dinner of some description.
Yeah, obviously I'm in this committee. The date's been announced.
March, is it?
Yeah, March the 25th of March or something like that. I think it's a Sunday. So social media will tell it. So so that'll be a well turned out event, I would think.
Right.
Open.
Tickets on sale now? Do you?
I'm not aware. They were not on sale yet.
When we get told, we'll
let you know,
so people know.
Yeah.
Just to help with a bit of that. Is there anything else? And I know you're not involved in it, but do you know if there's anything else planned between now and March? Or
I really don't know. I don't think. I had a wee chat with Ricky yesterday. I mean, he's delighted about it. I think it's going well. He says it's going well and he's enjoyed it. I'm not aware. I think we've got the dinner. I'm not sure what else they've got. I really don't know.
We'll find out.
I need to find out more about Colin, though. Enough about us.
Absolutely. Let's go straight to you, Hammy. Must have been it's been a roller coaster. It's what, you've been 2016, something like that. Is it 7 years?
I was here. When would that been? 2012.
For the loan
so
so 2012,
right at the start. So 2012, 2014. And then I jumped ship for 2 years, and then the gaffer got the job in March. And actually it was my mum that phoned me up just after he had got the job, and she says, Dick Campbell's got the job at Arbroath. And I just laughed and I says, I bet you I end up there in the summer. And true enough.
What made you think that?
I don't know, he had tried to get me a couple of years before, and it was one of the ones. I think the year I had left and went to Brecon, it was kind of between Forfar and Brecon at the time, but Brecon had trained, I had just no long started my business, so Brecon had trained at Stirling and Falkirk, which is 10 minutes from my house, so it made sense to train locally. Obviously you were away for the Saturday, so I played the year there, and then it was a year Alloa were in the championship and Forfar finished second, I think, so that would have been, I'm sure it was, they finished second, and the two of them, Alloa and Forfar, were playing each other in the playoffs. So it was technically, I think it was Danny Lennon, the manager of Alloa, was wanting me to sign for Alloa, and the gaffer was wanting me to sign for Forfar. So it came down to the two of them playing each other in the playoff final. So I knew I was playing in the championship for Sunday the following year. So Alloa won. I went, signed for Alloa. Rangers were in the league, Hibs were in the league, Falkirk were obviously a big team in the league at that time as well, so it was a no-brainer, and I was at Alloa, but as soon as the gaffer phoned, I had his number saved in my phone for previous anyway, and I remember it must have got to maybe probably May time, and the phone went, so here we go, so it was good, signed, and never looked back.
How was the deal done? Was it literally over the phone like that, or meet up?
At the time, I think we were still playing, so I had kind of said to him, I says, well, obviously I'm still at Alloa, so let me finish the season here, and then we can kind of talk. And obviously Jack Ross was the manager at the time, and it came to the end of the season where they pulled you in and says, right, we're going to offer you a contract, we're not going to offer you a contract. Alloa did offer me a contract, we obviously got relegated that year, but you just, something felt right, something felt, it pulled me towards them. I think it had been because he kind of tried to get me consistently for the last kind of 3 years, and I liked my time up here, and with that you're coming back to, obviously Ricky had signed the season, so I played with Ricky for a year and then I left. Lenny signed, so I played a year without them, then Neil signed, and it was coming back to players I knew as well, and I liked that, the changing room and the people that were there, and I always wanted to work with the guy. I know I'm friends with kind of Stuart Malcolm and stuff like that, so he's worked with the gaffer, and he says, you've got to go and try it, and I was still only 24 at the time, so if it didn't work out then I would still have time, but we've just never looked back, so season finished, I still never kind of made my mind up. I knew I was going there, but I wasn't wanting to get into the negotiations and all that, because I still had my holiday. Me and the wife, we were going to Barcelona, so I said to him, I want to go on holiday, enjoy my holiday, then we'll come back and talk. So the phone went all the way through my holiday, the gaffer, and then pink, and then back to the gaffer, and then pink, and right, okay, I'll sign, just let me enjoy my holiday and I'll come back, so, but he knew as soon as I said I was signing, that was it. I never heard from him again until the season started, so
trust.
But that was it, as soon as we met and we spoke, he knew what kind of person I was. Obviously he'd done his homework as well, so a handshake was enough to say, well, that's it, it's done, deal's done. So
you're the second most cut player under him, I think, at the moment, I believe.
Possibly, I think who would be first? Ricky.
Ricky,
and then me. So
it's again testament to the gaffer and the type of player he's signing.
I think people that come, they want to stay, and they don't look to go elsewhere. Like I say, I've never once had my head turned really. I think there was one time, it was when the COVID season, and it was that long spell staying in the house. We just had obviously Millie, our wee girl, and it was like, well, I want to spend a bit more time, but they talked me round, and I'm so glad they did, because I just think we've been kind of, it's where I like playing. I've got no pressure up here, and I know what they expect, so I've just got to go and do that every single week, so no hassle, no nothing, just come up, work for the gaffer, work for Pink, Rab, Youngie, as long as I'm working hard, then we're going to be happy, so really that's it. And if they're happy, then yous are happy, probably.
Oh, very happy. You ken yourself, you're a fan's favourite, Hammy. Most players has got a song, Hammy Zane's a Gideon, like, it's one of my favourite songs. Right. It's Hammy won the league at Starks Park. It's that's it, that goal. It's still, I still remember watching. What's he going to do here? And then just great.
I was actually ready to throttle Lenny because the ball came across.
He just passed,
and he should have passed me it, but he's then tried to shoot. But he's obviously hit his shot on the goal, he saved it, and it's came rolling back out, and then I've obviously slipped it away. But I remember it must have been about 10 minutes before that, I went for a 50-50 in the corner and a clatter of knees with the boy, and I was hobbling, and Rab's screaming out at me, get on with it, you're fine. So I'm going, the next thing I've managed to end up at the edge of the box, but after I scored, it was fine. I never felt my knee again.
You were bouncing about like a young thing.
But so that was good. But Lenny he was getting that effort, wasn't he?
You scored a puckle goals. I was sorry, JB.
No, you crack on.
So there's a new website. I'm just interrupting a wee bit. Arbroath Archives.
That's brilliant. It's
a great thing for us. I think if you've looked at it, it's a great thing for us looking. But they say you've scored 28 goals under Dick, and that. There's a wee bit of bone of contention about the next wee bit of it. So that puts you third in line for Dick's highest goal scorer.
Yeah. And I'm not even at a penalty yet. No, I do. I've scored a few. So.
Were you a field forward? And this is not a joke.
No.
Were you a field forward then or on?
No, I wasn't. I was always a defender. I've kind of played as I was younger. I was kind of left midfield, left back, but as I've got older and a bit slower then. But not just defensively and maybe at set plays and stuff like that. If it lands to me in the box, I'm pretty laid back, so if it lands there, I'll like a wee side foot kind of passing the corner, but never really. But I played at Brecon, scored a few goals at Brecon, a couple of goals at Alloa as well, so I've seemed to have scored a wee bit, kind of not prolific like, but it seems to be quite important goals as well that I normally
that I would say
get, apart from the Inverness where I hit the bar with a minute to go in the playoffs. That was
ouch.
I wasn't going to bring that up.
I actually had sleepless nights about that. It was so close, and it's just came in. I've just kind of helped it back in. Then we played Cowdenbeath the following pre-season, and so the back headed it right over the goalie and in, and it's just like.
I think it's testament to the kind of your losing sleep over scoring a goal. It just lets you see how much
absolutely
the care for the love for the club is.
I think it was the position we were in though. Came with them at 9 men, and we're trying everything we could, and it was hard. Like I say, they sit and they defend. As soon as they go to 10 men, they're wanting a draw, they're wanting penalties. Then they go to 9 men. As much as it's saying, gets that bit more difficult because you're trying to kind of force things and get stuff in.
I think as a fan, 10 men, when you're reduced against 10 men, it's going to be tough because 10 men historically, but then it changes. So when it went to 9 men, we're going, this is it. Like
I've got to do it, but it then becomes harder because they sit in, they get a lot deeper. Their midfield, it becomes technically 5 along the back with 2 people sitting in front, and it was one of the ones that we hit the bar. We had kind of half chances, but I think if we went back to it now in that position, we would probably deal with it differently, and I think we could have potentially had the chance, but just everything that was riding on it. You've got 10 minutes to react and 10 minutes to make something happen, and you go back, you'd probably do it slightly differently, whether it would be
hindsight's a great thing,
but that's it.
Speaking of going back, let's go back to March when the injury happened. I mean, we've got quite a few questions around this, but when it actually happened, what changes that lets you know this is a bad one?
It felt as if somebody had shot me in the back of the leg, either had shot me or whacked me in the back of the leg with a sledgehammer. It was more as if kind of came down on my heel and it's just kind of gave way. I knew right away that something's really serious here, and I remember kind of looking up and seeing Tam there and being like, and I think he just looked at me and the first thing he done was shout to Craigie to come on. But I just pain, so much pain, lying there. And I remember Craigie then came running on and he's like, right, okay, we'll get the stretcher, and I'm going, I'm coming off this part of my stretcher, I'll try and get up. So I've managed to get up, but as soon as I've stood up, it must have been the blood because I've been lying down for that long, rushing through my body, and I managed to just hobble to the side of the park and had to lie down again. I couldn't straighten my leg, I couldn't do nothing, so it was just I wouldn't wish that on anybody like so what I had done was the tendon, obviously your hamstring, you've got a tendon at the bottom and a tendon at the top. The tendon at the top had completely came straight off the bone, so it's pulled a wee bit of the bone off with it, so technically my hamstring was useless and there was nothing there holding it at the top end. So we had spoke to the specialist, we had spoke to Craig and that, and really he described it as a water skier's injury or a rugby player's injury. So obviously regarding the water skiing, if you were to hit a wave with your leg in a stretch, you're kind of out and with impact of the wave. And with a rugby player's stretch, if you're hitting somebody in a position where you're kind of on a stretch and somebody kind of clatters you, and so that was, he says it was unusual for a football player to get this kind of injury, but it was my hamstring and my adductor or abductor, the one on the inside as well, so it was the two of them that had kind of came clean off, so difficult, but the club have been great. Let's say how
big an operation was it? Because I mean, as we spoke earlier on, I didn't even know you got operations for that type of thing.
Well, near the Dario, and this has probably been my first major injury. I've never really, I've been at the club for 10 years now, and this really my first major injury. Keegan Jacobs done something similar earlier on in the season, so we were kind of basing it off how Keegan's was, but it was kind of completely different in the way that his kind of was cut. So basically the operation was they had to kind of anchor my hamstring back up to where it should be, and with the tendon, and I think whether it be pinned on or stapled on, and that kind of the same area it was.
You awake when they do that, or is that general?
So that was general, aye. So down the club centre's down to London. There was a boy that done Keegan, so he's the hamstring specialist. He's the person that everybody goes to in the Princess Grace Hospital, I think it was in London. So the hospital was a lot nicer than the hotel we stayed in anyway. So he was great, talking all the way through it, and down there jagging the arm, and then I wake up with a leg brace on and can't move. So it was a kind of whirlwind weekend. We played Cove here as well that day that I got the operation. So I went to sleep I woke up. I think we had to be there for about 9:30, 10 o'clock. But I was back at 11 by the time I went in for the operation. I think I kind of came round about 2 o'clock, 2:30, but I still quite wasn't knowing where I was or that. But we were then catching a flight back up the road at 6:30.
So that night?
That night, so we were straight up. I spoke to Craig, I spoke to the surgeon, and he says the best thing was he says you're going to feel uncomfortable lying here to then get back up the next day. He says you're probably better
getting out of the road,
getting straight up the road. At least then you're going to be in your own bed, you're going to be kind of in your own environment, and kind of the painkillers and that as well would still be kind of in your system, so it probably wouldn't feel as bad. So travelling kind of for the hospital back to, I think it was Gatwick we got, so we were an hour in a taxi. It was just it was a rush to get back up the road, and Cassandra, she was watching the game on the phone, and Cove scored, and I'm sitting in the back of this taxi just gutted, and you're like, because I think if we had drew that game, that would have been technically as safe.
Yeah.
But I then got the last goal. But I thought it was a long day. We've always wanted to go to London to see the theatre, but it was, like I say, it was a kind of whirlwind experience for down there and then rushing through. And I remember rushing through the airport as fast as we can with me and these crutches and leg brace, and actually because of they had cleaned the crutches down with a special cleaner at the hospital. When I went to go through the scanner, no, they wouldn't let me through, so they had to test. So we're obviously running late as it is. Cassandra's then freaking out, she's got all these bags, she's got this, and I'm saying, well, you're just going to need to go and hold the plane up. So they're then checking, I've got this sock on, my shorts, this leg brace, and I'm going, they're not letting me through because there's something on these cuts, whether it be drugs or something they think's on it. So, but eventually somebody came and they had tested them again, and so then flying through. And luckily the flight was delayed for 40 minutes, so we made it, because if it wasn't delayed, then we would have been left. So
how does it, I mean, that's obviously it affects your football life, we would all know that. How would it affect your sort of day-to-day, like your personal life and your professional life, because it's you're in cars and
of course, I told off technically after I'd done it, so we done it on a Friday night here. The following week and a half, I sitting on the couch, really, that was it. I couldn't do much. You get up to the toilet and that, but that was really it. Kind of after that week I started a wee bit more mobile. We knew we kind of had scan results back, so we knew what it was, so we knew we needed an operation, so it was trying to then get back moving as much as I could, so I could get on with life. And then I kind of relatively normal, I walked with a hobble, I walked a bit slower, but then we got the operation, it was kind of back to square one again, another 2-3 weeks doing nothing.
So it's 2 operations you had to have? No,
so just from when we got the injury,
right,
so we got the injury, and then there was obviously a few week period where I couldn't do nothing, I couldn't move, and then we knew what was obviously wrong, so you can get up and on the go because you're going to need this operation regardless.
So,
they'll fix it at the operation, and then once we had the operation, it was then a case of just trying to rest as much as we could. Couldn't lift my leg, I was sleeping with my leg brace on, with a pillow. I think where the nerves and all that run down the back of your leg as well, I was getting a lot of tingling in that in the back of my heel, so really it was just an uncomfortable time, but I knew I would come out the other end of it, so it was just we had to get on it. Luckily I've got good staff at work as well, so they can attain charge, and I was there for if anything was needed, so we got on with it, we were fine, and just taking a wee bit long. I think it was quite hard when it happened as well, because the season then finished. With Keegan, he had Craigie there all the time, where I kind of had nobody, so that kind of probably put us back a couple of weeks at the start, which has potentially then led to another 2 or 3, 4 weeks delay at the other end, because you've had that extra week to 2 weeks off, but no, we're worrying good to now. Our strength on my left hand side at one point was, I think I was down 82.5% compared to my right side, so I had lost all the strength from my left hamstring, but now I think we're less than 20, so hopefully over the next kind of couple of weeks we'll get that and up a wee bit and start to lift the running in that, so.
How close to playing do you think you are then?
I think probably still, we're hoping to try and get back to training. I think it'll be before the end of September, so back to full training before the end of September, and then we'll just see kind of how quickly I can get up to match fitness and kind of broken back in.
You were saying yesterday when I was speaking to you that you feel as though your aim is to come back stronger and fitter than you were before.
I think so, and I think you're looking at that and going, well, I'm not getting any younger, so I need to start looking after myself a bit more, kind of eating properly, sleeping as much as, obviously, getting my 8 hours a night, and that makes a big difference, and that's especially when you're trying to do the gym work in the morning before work, because when you come home at night and you're no training, you want to spend time with the family, and so it's been difficult. That's been probably the hardest 6 months that I've had in a footballing capacity, because you're kind of trying to juggle everything about and get fit. Spent half my time on a bike looking at a window, because everybody's away training. I've never been injured before, so it's hard training yourself, trying to motivate yourself, but I've just got to get on with it and do it, So, but hopefully, like I say, we'll come back stronger and fitter, in better shape than I was when I got injured. So
that's it. You were on about the motivation. So how did you? I'm trying to get this into proper English. No easy for me. What made you so motivated to do that, Colin? I mean, it's all right saying it.
I think just seeing the way that the season had kind of finished, and whether that kind of unfinished business to go, well, we want to get back that feel good factor of being this close to then being so far away. I'm somebody that wants to always get better and be better and keep on going, so I suppose being injured gives you that time to reflect and say, well, where can I improve? I'm sitting on a couch there going, well, I could be better at this, I could be better at this. You've got more time to think about it, so it then gives you the kind of objectives to say, well, I need to be better at this for getting back, and it's kept me motivated. Just self-motivation, obviously. My wife as well, she's been kicking me up the backside as well to get out and get on with it, and super supportive in everything I do, so I can't complain.
I think that's something we were speaking about earlier on, and the whole gist of what we're trying to get to is family life, etc., how it's affected and everything else. One thing that's come across with, I think Michael McKenna was saying the same. Family is so important to helping.
It's massive, and that's I think we don't understand how much our family, close family likes, give up so we can go and do this. I say holidays, the last time we went on holiday was 2019. Obviously COVID's been there, but with the way everything's kind of worked out, with kind of COVID, and then you get back and weddings and kids, we're at that time where families are growing, so it's difficult. But once it's away for us, the football's away for us, we'll be saying, we should have gained more. But family support of everybody at a part-time level, they'll all be saying the same thing. Their close family is what probably keeps them coming back, because they've got that support back home. You have a bad game, if you're full-time, you're going home, it's probably affecting all your weekend. But as much as we're part-time, we go home and we start again on Monday, because we've got a real jobs on Monday, and it doesn't mean I'm not saying this isn't a real job, but the pressure's off as such, because our real jobs pay for our house, our real jobs pay for our gas and electricity, where the football, we do it as much, it's really for enjoyment and fan interaction. We need that. At the end of the day, use cheering us outside the park, that's what makes you want to come back every week, and that's one thing I've thought, well, you see the Dundee game there, and there's 5,000 folk, and I'm sitting in the stand going, oh, what about there? Like, that's what you can. That's what you want to get back for, to play in the big games. Kilmarnock, the second last game of the season. Name me a better atmosphere in Scotland that full season, bar potentially a Rangers Celtic game.
Yeah, I agree.
There's, you'll never get that time back. So you want
a player and a fan to be part of that.
Oh, it's amazing. Who would ever have thought I would have been involved in that? The club would have been involved in that? Nobody. But that's that belief that if we can get that belief back, and that we can get back to that level, then who knows? Let's say if we don't have that belief, then there's no chance. But we've just got to believe that we can do it. Let's say we've been there, we've done it, so why can you not do it again, eh? But you need everybody to buy into it.
Belief. I believe. There's a movie about that.
There is.
I don't think I've seen that.
We're starting to get to the back end here and run out a wee bit of time.
Yep.
Farmer, what else have you got?
I'm quite willing to forgo what I've got just to speak to Hammy, to be fair. Folks don't need to listen to me.
We're all good.
I mean, not just a way. I mean, we'll do the question for him just so he can. Since Dick Campbell taken over, his two biggest defeats has got the same number in common. Do you ken that number? And before you answer, that's out to the general fans as well. Dick Campbell took over in 2016. His biggest defeat and his biggest win both have the same number. Hammy says he kens it.
I think or not.
So you can get that, guys, if you get it. The answer will be coming quite soon. I'm going to ask another two quick questions for it, just and see if Hammy kens them. Again, nod when you can. Who was Dick Campbell's first signing? He's thinking that in. They are relevant to you, Hammy, to be fair. I'm not saying it was you, but they are relevant to you because it's there. And Paul Sheeran. Who was Paul Sheeran's first signing?
I wasn't here the year. I was there after Peanut taking over.
Okay.
So I couldn't tell you who that was.
Okay, so
I can have a guess. But
I have a guess. Go for it, because you've got time to have a guess now. Go for it.
Kieran McInnesby.
No. So, well, this
you want to get the answer? We've had long enough, I think.
I would say. You ken it, JB?
I know the Paul Sheeran one, yes.
Go for it then.
Paul Sheeran signed Paul Sheeran.
Correct.
Yeah.
We trick signing. Player manager had to sign himself. Dick Campbell's first signing, do you know it?
Nah, don't know that.
Have you got it?
Stephen Doris.
No, close.
Or Ryan McCord.
No. Omar Kadir.
No way was Omar the first signing.
So just so that we can get this back, if there's anybody going to argue with me about this is off the Arbroath archives. I got it. They've got some great things. I really get on its site, boys.
I'd like to get whoever runs it on the pod and get on the blether with them, actually.
Apparently Omar Kadir was Dick Campbell's first signing. Paul Sheeran signed himself. The goals, the biggest losses and biggest wins and biggest defeats?
7-1.
7-1, yeah. Team?
Inverness.
Yeah. And the other one? Well, obviously it was 7-0 win against.
That's what I'm trying to think who it was against, though. I don't know.
You want a clue?
Aye.
First letter's A.
A. Was it a league game?
I think it was a cup game. I need to double check that. I think it was a cup game. It was. We'll be playing them quite soon.
A.
Sure.
Just tell me, There's it. When did we beat them? 7-0. Was that up here?
I think it was down there. I think it was down. We got beat here. And then, I'll need to double check that. I'll maybe hit to make sure I can more information. It was definitely them 7-0. And if there's anything wrong again, it is Arcova. I'm going to take Arma starts off at Arbroath Archives because it's the only fair in it.
I know obviously we got beat off Inverness 7-1 up here.
Yeah, that's right.
I played in that game.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think of the biggest one. The only one I can remember would have been Brecon. We beat Brecon 5 or 6-1? Or 6? That was it, Brecon.
Now you're asking.
We'll just need to double check it.
We'll check that.
Can you mind your first goal?
My first goal?
Yeah, for Arbroath. I'll take either of them because you've been and gone and been.
My first goal, I think, was against Albion Rovers.
Fantastic, well done.
1-0 win.
Yeah.
Right. The second time.
Bad name. There's a clue. I've spoke about them a fair bit today.
Dundee United. So it was, I knocked in with my backside or my hand.
Any chance you could come back for the Friday night game and do the same again?
You should be back by then, actually, for that's 26th October, is it?
Oh,
so hopefully I'll be there or there a bit.
Good. Well, I think Hammy's got to go.
Absolutely, I've loved having you here. A couple of things for me, just to wrap this up, and then we'll call it a day anyway. For the regular people that watch this, you'll know we used to have Jamie Cadman that was alongside us. He's not going to be here anymore, so we are launching our search for a star, or search for a Cadman as we're going to call it. So if anybody wants to come on as a guest presenter, send us a tweet or a DM, whatever way you want to do it. Just let us know who you are and why you want to come on. I'm not saying everybody will get the chance to come on, depends how many people ask to, but we'll choose who we think are the best helper outers. Last thing for me, thank you, Hammy, so much for joining us. It's been brilliant. You've been best one yet.
You've forgotten something. So our next podcast will know.
That was how it was finishing.
Go for it.
I never forget nothing. I'd just like to say thank you to Hammy first of all for coming on. It's been absolutely brilliant. As Fermer rightly said, this pod was due to go out on a Saturday, because we're celebrating our 5 years since we renamed the pod. It's going to have to be changed to a Friday night that we stick this out. So until the next time, we'll see you at the game today. Good afternoon, God bless.
And United on your bike.